I'm Kelsey Simmons, and this is the presentation on the awareness of WSSU, Savannah State's on-campus radio station. So, the purpose of this campaign was to gain insight on how familiar students and faculty at Savannah State University are with the on-campus radio show WSSU. With this research being collected, it was then applied to a campaign that raised awareness for WSSU in order to increase the number of students and faculty who listen to the radio show. So basically, in choosing WSSU, we kind of wanted to choose something that was, I guess, that would be familiar to work with, that would be kind of easier, that we had more access to. And in choosing WSSU, that's something that students all over the campus can use to their advantage. You can know what's going on around campus, around Savannah. You can know any type of events that are coming up, because students want to be active while they are at college. And WSSU is the Tiger source, number one source for Tiger Pride. So that was why WSSU was chosen. Research. With new technologies such as streaming services, radio stations are no longer number one when it comes to feeding college students information. A 2015 Nielsen Radar study shows that of the 91% of Americans who still listen to AM/FM radio, a large percent of this number includes college students. In order to reach the desired audience, current students and faculty on campus were chosen to conduct that research. Participants were chosen randomly by email and also by convenience through text messages. So with the research, we obviously had to know who already was aware of WSSU, and I guess what would give us a feel of how we would be able to reach a bigger audience for our target audience. So in order to understand who's already aware of WSSU, we decided that we would conduct a survey, and we only used students that were on campus, and we also wanted to use faculty because it is important also that our professors and whoever else faculty on campus are aware of what's going on as well. So, research continued. So, the survey was given to 60 people 17 years and older. Out of the 60 people surveyed, 55 listened to some form of online streaming services, while only 25 out of the 60 listened to the radio. The survey showed that majority of the type of music preferred to be listened to would be hip-hop/rap and R&B. In the conducted survey, it was discovered that most available time slots to listen to the radio would be from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. 85% of those surveyed answered that they listened to the radio while traveling, while only 20% answered that they listen to the radio every day. So, I'm going to talk about a little about online streaming and listening to the radio. So, with technology today, a lot of people just plainly don't listen to the radio. They obviously use streaming services such as Spotify, Tidal Music, SoundCloud, and Apple Music, of course. So knowing that while doing our research, that kind of helped us to realize, okay, well, in order to reach these people, we kind of need to use the radio and the streaming services, kind of, I guess, to combine that. And one way to combine that would be to use a podcast. And a podcast is it's a radio show, but it's also available on streaming services that has like each episode. And that would help us in order to reach those students that prefer to use online streaming services, over listening to the radio. So, to touch on the type of music preferred, well, Savannah State University is an HBCU, so majority of the students are Black, meaning that majority of the students do listen to hip-hop and R&B. So knowing that part of our research, it's like, okay, well, since most of students are going to listen to hip-hop and R&B, that kind of plays into what needs to be played on the radio show. And if most of the songs are catered to what the listeners are going to listen to, that helps draw in a bigger audience. And as far as time slots, most radio shows there are various radio shows. You have your morning radio shows, your afternoon, and then your nightly radio shows. Well, considering that this is a college campus, most students are going to be busy throughout the day. And all classes, majority of classes end at 5 o'clock in the later afternoon, early evening. So most of the time slots that we offered in the survey, most of those time slots, most of the students chose the time slot between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. because that's just when most college students on this campus are free. Okay. Our campaign plan, of course. So the objectives of our campaign plan, was 1, to increase the number of Savannah State students who listen to WSSU by the end of this fall 2019 semester, which is December, by at least 10%. And our second was to increase WSSU's social media platform by the end of this fall semester, 2019 semester. And I think we didn't originally have like 10% whatever for that, but when we got our results, it was met by 10%, the increase. So our tactics and media channels, we use the internet because the internet, as I stated before, just to piggyback off of technology and stuff, the internet is kind of what most of the students use as, their way to pass off information and stuff like that. So that was our number one thing we were going to use, and our number one, tactic. And we decided to use social media to get that awareness, such as Instagram and Twitter, because majority students are either on Instagram or Twitter or both in some cases. So we use that to, I guess, get that advertisement and just to reach students and to get them aware of WSSU. Deliverables. One of our deliverables was a 15-second commercial that you can find on YouTube. It's under Strategic Campaign Production. And basically, it was just a 15-second commercial on waking up, college student at Savannah State University. You get up all groggy and, just really not in the mood for class. But once they start to listen to WSSU and, they're getting pumped up and they're getting that energy, and it's just showing how something as simple as WSSU can uplift their spirits to get them ready for the day. So that's what's being demonstrated in the 15-second commercial. Next deliverables, we have the flyer, which says come join WSSU today, and that's just giving information how you can join, where to go in order to join, and just how to get in contact with whoever you need to get in contact with in order to join WSSU. We also have our poster. As you can see, it looks the same size, but when printed out, it was actually bigger than that. But that's just saying tune in to WSSU and, helping to get aware. We also had social media posts, such as on Twitter, just to we sent those out, I think, a couple of times a week because we wanted the students to understand what WSSU was, try to get them involved. And that was just something that helped using the internet/social media approach that I discussed before. For our implementation, we did an info booth, and we had the posters and flyers, and we had students come by. We took some pictures with them. They followed us. They followed WSSU while they were at the info booth. We saw with our own eyes. So we got to interact. They asked us questions, we answered, and that kind of just helped the awareness up a little. And here are some pictures, as you can see. Our evaluation. So our first objective was to increase the number of Savannah State University students who listen to WSSU by the end of this fall semester by at least 10%. Our strategy was to use social media to spread awareness, partner with WSSU, and work with them to see what areas they needed help in. Our tactics were social media posts, info booths for WSSU, and flyers. Our results: in following our strategy and using the planned tactics, we were able to increase WSSU awareness by 16%. Previously, where only 59% of students who were surveyed were aware of WSSU, now 75% of students are aware after the implementation. This goal was met, of course. And here you can see the difference, just to get like a visual. And our second part of the evaluation Our second objective was to increase WSSU's social media platform by the end of this fall 2019 semester. Our strategy was to interact on social media accounts more, partner with WSSU in order to have access to WSSU's social media. Our tactics were to post on Instagram and Twitter, and our results with posting on Instagram, we were able to increase WSSU's social media following. WSSU's Instagram increased by 10.5%, going from 599 followers to 665 followers. Our goal was achieved, and here you can get just a visual of the difference. And conclude. So, throughout this campaign, much was learned on how to focus on reaching the target audience. The biggest obstacle was working within the budget while still being able to achieve our goal. With WSSU being the organization we chose to represent and the target audience being Savannah State University, it was very convenient to reach your students here. In this process, we learned how to manage a campaign and stay on task. It was sometimes difficult because of the tight schedule we had to stay on, but we always managed to come through and get this information we needed, and also to share the information in order to spread the awareness we wanted. And to end, fortunately, we did not encounter many problems. The only thing we would change would be if we could have had a bigger budget. We more than likely would have been able to increase awareness of WSSU even more. So just to piggyback off of what I already said, working with WSSU was very convenient, and it just gave myself, a beginning of just working in PR, having a strategic campaign, just knowing what it took in order to work with a company, an organization, in order to help them increase awareness. And just overall, I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed this class, and just working with the different people, in WSSU, getting to know more students. The info booth was very fun because, you got to talk to people, and just from talking, you learned their experiences, why they came to Savannah State University, why they would want to listen to WSSU. And I guess that overall just helped to make a great campaign. Also, I wanted to discuss, as far as budgeting, I feel that if we did have a bigger budget, because we are college students, so it's kind of hard to just get money, just find money lying around. So as far as budgeting, if we had a bigger budget, I feel we could have had more events, and that would have help us to increase WSSU awareness even more. We could have had, just some type of game night where students came out and, we played games such as Guess This Song, just simple stuff like that. If we had more of a budget, we could have, raised more awareness. But overall, this campaign was really nice to work on. Like I said, I got to meet different people. I just overall had a great time and experience, and I look forward to using everything that I've learned working on this campaign in my future endeavors. And I really enjoyed this class. And that's all I have. Thank you.